Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Zaid Masagos. Thank you very much for joining us on today's live webinar on 5 pillars of Islamic wealth, Islamic investment in Singapore. And today, definitely, we want to work a lot on the investment pillar. But what are the 5 pillars of Islamic wealth? The first one is actually wealth maintenance. We're talking about cash flow. We're talking about how you manage your wealth as a Muslim. And then the second pillar is about wealth protection. What is permissible insurance with the absence of takaful in Singapore. And third one is wealth enhancement, which we're going to talk about it today on Sharia compliant investments. And for the fourth pillar is wealth distribution, like faraid, wasiat, waqaf, nuzriyah, hibah. And the last one is wealth purification, which is on purifying your wealth in the events that you find out that your wealth is impure or with riba elements. So every end of the month, we're going to touch on each pillar. And for every webinar, we will then record it and edit it with to make it convert it as a podcast and upload into YouTube. So if you miss this live, we will send into our Facebook that you can check on and watch it on our YouTube, but it's going to be edited. What's the difference between joining us in the live as well as the one that you're going to watch in YouTube? In the YouTube, we are not going to record or upload the question and answer, because question and answer is directly special for those watching us today live. So thank you again. So the first part, for all of our webinar, right now as we are going on, there are 2 parts. So the first part is where I like, let's say myself as a host. There will be other hosts on other webinars as well. And then there will be panelists. Like today we have Islamic Wealth Certified Advisors from Amanah Advisory Group, Ustazah Surina. And then also we have our guest, who is also my business partner, who is also the director and co-founder of iFinancial Education, Said Afiq. He loves to be called as the Afiq or modern Muslim finance chief finance ninja. Okay, so then the second part is Q&A, question and answers. So you guys are more than welcome to send in your questions to, listen, the number is 84829563. I repeat, 84829563. That is the only way where we are going to receive your questions and we're going to answer from there. Please reserve the Zoom chat only when there is like a technicality, like I can't hear you, or you are frozen. That kind of things. So it's more of those technicality kind of questions. Otherwise, send your questions related to this topic, related to what we are going to share about today, only to 84829563. I repeat again, 84829563. That's our Amanah Advisory Hotline. So we are going to address that questions on part 2 of today. So what's going to happen is we're going to stream, or we're going to share screen a video. While that video is running, you can pour in your questions, or you can always send the questions as and when we are also talking, but we won't be answering the questions in the part 1. Part 1 is our session right now, whereby we have a total of 4 questions for me to share, so that our expert panelists, Ustazah Surina and as well as Said Afiq, to share. So we selected carefully what we will be delivering today. Okay, so are we ready?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for joining us today. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we begin. So the first question that I'm going to ask is going to be directed firstly to Ustazah Surina. Okay, Ustazah Surina, as a Muslim, what does one need to safeguard before one starts to invest?
Okay. First and foremost, thank you so much for the question.
Zaid, first and foremost, thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Here we are at Masjid Tentera. Can I just check again which camera should I be looking at? This one. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right. So, right. So thank you so much again. Okay, like, I'm basically settling down and getting more comfortable to do this event this afternoon. Okay, as a Muslim, before we invest, okay, we know that this is now mainstream. There's many people investing, but as Muslims, can we just invest like that? Like, okay, we just follow mainstream. We just whatever that is being laid on the table, we can just say yes to it. Of course not. Okay, we Muslims, we have the Sharia principles to adhere to. Okay, so there are some important aspects. So firstly, to safeguard, we have to ensure the sectors where we are investing in. What sectors is it? So first things first, what is investment? Maybe everybody knows, because you sign up in this webinar this afternoon. We want to grow our money. Okay, we invest. It's not keeping the money in the bank. So if you have any questions like pertaining, you do not know what is Islamic investment, basic, we can't cover it today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Not
can't.
enough time.
Okay, not enough time. So just straight to the question that you said. So with regards to the aspects that we have to look out for, it must not be these haram sectors or haram industries. So what are these haram industries? For example, gambling. Okay, and there's also any relation to gambling, that means casino, etc. Okay, and then you have alcohol. All right, so gambling, alcohol, manufacture of alcohol, selling of alcohol. You have tobacco, also not Sharia compliant. Okay, and then you have those that are involved in conventional financials. Okay, conventional financial meaning like banking, insurance. Okay, so the conventional ones. So these are also not permissible. How many already? 5, 4. Okay. So we also have not allowed is adult entertainment. For example, pornography. Okay. We also have pork because it's haram. Okay. So I think that's about it. These are at least some of the sectors confirmed that it's a no-no. All right. So there's one more, is it? But
There's weapons of mass destruction.
yeah,
there's
weapons of
entertainment, there's human cloning. There is
unethical.
one more, which is, hang on, I just taught the class malam, so it's quite fresh. There are actually 12. You've covered most of the 8 or 9.
So those are the sectors. For example, like you mentioned human cloning, so it's unethical and it is not in the standards. It's not accepted as yet by the majority or the scholars it's the Muslim scholars. You mentioned weapons of mass destruction also cannot. So
drugs also cannot, illegal drugs.
correct. So commodities are fine, but if it's like related to pork or rather, we talk about food and then it's pork, then cannot lah. To alcohol cannot. So you need to know all these things. Like it's just some companies, but what companies? So you need to really understand this bit. So the sectors must be those which are not involved in all those. Safeguard that first. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Sazra. Very insightful. In fact, what they have just added and shared, if you were to Google, they only share generally about 7. And our Syed Afiq actually did more research into it, and we saw that actually there's 12. But if you were to look into, when I talk to some of the scholars out there, there is at least more than 20. That is inside but that one is going very deep.
Very deep.
Much deep. So that's not where we want to be concerned of. Our area of concern is more of if you do not have an expert advisor, or if you do not have someone to advise you where can you invest, where good, where's allowable, where's permissible, where's halal, and you would like to do your own research, highly likely chances are you might not get it correctly. Okay, so because even those that have been certified that Sharia compliant, that we know is it from AAOIFI, our Sharia advisor, Dr. Akram Ladin, one of the board member from there, and we have in touch with a number of Sharia advisors as well. They all say it's not as easy as that.
Yes.
So may I add one example, very simple one on that note. Let's say in line to what you just said, which is the strawberry farm. So then there was one particular incident. Somebody asked me, no problem. I can always invest in the strawberry farm. Everything looks good. The performance looks good. Okay.
No pork.
No pork. No gambling. All that you say don't have. But then again, when they do with using the ideal ratings, using the AOIFI standard, when you go deeper and deeper and deeper, Sharia advisor said, still cannot. Then we realize that they have a fatwa within the AOIFI to give us the guidance on where you can invest, which is on the tolerance level. This is just to share with you guys. Tolerance level of finance. That means how much can you loan or how much can you borrow?
The debt ratio.
The debt ratio. So that particular strawberry farm, the debt ratio exceeds the tolerance level, which is up to 30%. So for that, even though everything covers, that one failed. So our strong suggestion for our dear audience today, which we are very grateful for listening up, you may have been doing your own investments. Our strong suggestion is to contact us to check whether is it really halal. At the same time, our number, the same number 84829563. You can always text there, and maybe you can ask any one of us here as well as our team to check whether can you see whether am I investing the halal. Is it Sharia compliant? Is it halal? Or even better, halal way? Halal. Which leads to the next question. This is where it leads to the next question. Maybe I will ask you first, then after that, followed by Syed Afiq.
Boleh?
Okay. This is the thing. When we talk about investing the halal way, is that all that we need to avoid? Right?
Okay.
Are there any other elements a Muslim need to steer clear of?
Yes.
In addition to the first question.
Okay. All right. Very, very important, pertinent question with regards to investment in for Sharia compliant or Sharia compliant investment. So that aside, the sectors aside, you ensure already all. The sectors are all permissible. So to the next step is actually the elements that one should ensure that you do not have these elements. Next. The 4 elements. Later you will cover, Afiq will be covering some, so I just cover the first one, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe I talk about the first one that we all have to steer clear, which is riba.
The most
okay,
obvious.
usury, riba. So unfortunately in our day and time, riba is a sin that unfortunately our Muslim brothers and sisters, we don't mind to actually give riba or take riba. Unfortunately. Okay, so those who understand what is the definition or the term what is riba lah, okay, so it's basically interest against, and it is unequal. All right, one gets it, and then at the end of the day, it costs one. It is very exploitative, and one will be at the loss, one will be at the gain. All right, so that's why in the Quran and in the Hadith, riba is actually a very big sin lah. Okay, if you want to talk about, you attend a class and talk about riba, you ask a ustaz, ustazah, then a lot of this dalil that will surface up. So we do not consume pork, okay, because clear in the Quran, pork is haram. But with regards to riba, we do not take care of our wealth, okay, our wealth, our money, okay, and whether it's truly halal, truly void of riba. So that is what I think as a financial advisor also, I think all of us, right, we always remind our clients, okay, so and then we also explain to them, okay, you cannot do this because there's riba. Then they will know. Otherwise, if maybe we don't highlight to them, they do not know. So let me tell you, okay, so when you want to invest, okay, talk about Islamic investment, where is it that this riba come in, this element of riba, where is it that it comes in? Okay, so riba can come in investment, for example, when you in the financial sector. Okay, so that's why before this, the question that you asked me, right? Why one cannot be in this sector or the financial sector, conventional for that matter? Why is it that it's a haram sector? Because this conventional financial sector is actually heavily dealing with riba. That's how they get their I mean, that's how they profit lah. That's their business. So in the event that you are invested in a fund, and in that fund there's like companies, there's banks, for example. Okay, there's companies that actually do this kind of loan, giving out of loans, and then they will get back riba lah. They are dealing with riba, and that's when your wealth which you invest already tainted already. Tainted lah. That means already mixed with the, there's riba there, so it becomes impure. So that's a no lah. So the first element that you cannot have is actually riba. You must make sure in your investment there is no riba there. Okay, no connection with riba. Okay, so that's one that I can think of with regards to investment lah, in investment. Yeah.
So which actually added on, investment is one of the pillar, but it also one of the pillar, another pillar, which is also on purification. So purification of wealth is also the main pillar. So when we saw something with riba, you need to know how to purify. So identifying what you invest with elements of riba, how to make it Sharia compliant, you must be able to know how to purify as well, how much to purify. So plenty of all these things that we'll need to take into consideration. Thank you, sir.
Oh, actually, right. So sorry. There's one more example, okay, which is quite common.
Yeah.
So another one which is heavily involved in riba is when there is a guaranteed. There's a guaranteed element there. I mean, you want to do investment, okay, you come up with the capital, okay, then I will guarantee you this amount, okay, for your profit. So that one also is considered riba, because you do not know what's going to happen in the business, in the investment, okay. So in the event that actually it goes down, so then the one that started this, the contract needs to actually pay because it's already promised. On the other hand, if actually there's a huge profit, okay, but already just guarantee that amount, and then that's what you get, while the other party actually really happy lah. I mean, gets a lot of money. So there's inequality there, and it can be exploitative, and therefore Islam forbids that. Okay, so anything guarantee in that investment, if there's a guaranteed element there, you must know, flag already, red flag. This one also considered riba. If you're not sure, like what you say, you can check with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Ustazah.
Yeah.
That means, very nicely, I'm going to lead into the question to add on. Syed Afiq has a number of years. How many years in banking?
In banking?
Yeah.
3-4 years maybe?
About
The total have been in the industry for 11 years now.
Okay, he's already in the industry about 11 years. Ustazah Surina coming 5 years?
Coming to 5
Coming
years.
to
yes.
5 years. Myself, 23.
Masih muda, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so on my, but with about 3 to 4 years in the banking sector, but among the three of us, he's the most qualified in terms of certification. She has about 5 or 6, myself about 7. He have, don't know.
19.
Okay, so why I bring this up is because leading to your question about the guaranteed in investment,
Yes.
which is also known as the conventional term. When you invest something,
Capital guaranteed.
capital guaranteed, sometimes it's called
Capital
equity. The other one is, if not equity, it is a
Bond.
There you go. So every time in the bond, usually the dividend may or may not be guaranteed, but the essence behind the bond is always something that people are guaranteed to pay.
Yes, typically a bondholder is legally obliged to receive their coupons or dividends, and if they don't pay, if you remember from the news from last year, Evergrande, China construction company, couldn't pay their bondholders the dividends. They were sued. And then of course, there was an investigation done showing that the company actually got no cash, so very, very bad. And so in this case, a bondholder is legally obliged to pay the coupon.
So there is that part of guarantee whereby the investor are expecting that guaranteed dividend, right? So that's the reason why I said is among the three of us, he's more qualified to answer this because he's from the bank.
Definitely.
He's very exposed in that sector that is happening over there, plus 19 certificates. But in terms of the three of us, she will be more qualified in the Islamic aspects of it, and she continues to learn She went to the most recent muzakara, in touch with so many Sharia advisors, and then to listen to the most update what is now permissible, last time was not, or last time was not permissible, now is. So, and she's very updated in that sense, and her what they call ARS certified. So this is where our panelists for today to share with you about investments. And when we talk about bonds, there is an Islamic investment of it.
Sukuk.
Suku. So you want to share a little bit about suku then?
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. What's so
Sukuk.
different then?
Paling senang, the easiest way to describe sukuk is an Islamic bond. But if we go a bit deeper, a sukuk has commodity backed. So therefore, it actually has an asset behind the securities, in this case, the bond. For example, if I have a bond, Afiq Private Limited, right? I issue a conventional bond, I raise money, you all give me money, but it's only based on my name. I don't need to have assets, you all can collect money. Then, the terms of the bond are such. But if I were to issue a sukuk instead, I need to show that I have assets in the background. That if anything were to fail, that if I cannot make my my sukuk payments, or as the company start to crumble, right? The sukuk actually has assets behind it to support the value. So it's not just an empty piece of paper. That's the most important thing. Between a bond, literally empty piece of paper, you look at the name of the issuer. But for a sukuk, the name of the issue is important, but also what are the assets backing that particular piece of paper. Very, very important. So that in the event of a default, they have these assets to pay out to the sukuk holders.
Which leads on from riba. Then we talk about to identify riba, how to purify, how much to purify. And then we hear about the guaranteed portion. And the guaranteed portion in the conventional one is usually the bond part or the capital guaranteed type, and which is actually non-Sharia. Very hardly, or I've never heard of a Sharia investment that is capital guaranteed. Please double check. We always wonder if there is. I want to know.
Typically, when we talk about capital guarantee,
Yeah.
the issue from an Islamic perspective comes on the topic of risk sharing. So when we talk about Islamic contract, in Katsu, you were talking about, the four elements. You got riba, you got uncertainty, you got deceit, and you have maisir, gambling. Kan. One of the aspects of an Islamic contract is risk sharing. That means one party cannot lose everything and the other party gain everything.
Which you said.
That's a conventional contract, right? In some contracts, you see one person can lose everything. For example, like a conventional housing loan. Housing loan, if you cannot pay, the bank take your house, auction the house, take their money back. You lose everything. Can't. But from a Islamic perspective, Islamic contract, there is risk sharing and profit sharing. So we lose together, make money together. And of course, when you talk about your uncertainty and all that, who knows? Only Allah yang tahu what's going to happen in the future, kan? So when you talk about guaranteed and so on, so it's right. You don't know. Tahun depan, who knows what might happen? Mana boleh guarantee? You cannot just say it's like that. So if you see something that is capital guaranteed and process it is Islamic, send it our way. We'll give you our opinion and we dig deeper. Because I totally understand sometimes kita baca all the jargon, tak faham. Most of the people out there, you read through, you have no idea what you're reading.
Yeah.
So send it to
Action
us.
tahu.
Action tahu. Macam I kadang-kadang action tahu, tapi tahu juga.
No, I'm being very blunt here sometimes. For her, she already went to see quite a number of people who come and ask us, go ahead, get our advice, our consultation, go deeper about it, and even she did some recommendation and implementation to help our dear Muslims from Singapore to actually properly invest the Sharia compliant, proper investments. And yes, we do face some people who action tahu. I'm serious. You may know of someone. Yeah. So, but then when they start to realize, we give them time, we forgive them, we forgive ourselves, we ask for forgiveness as well. We hope that may Allah guide us along the way. I do have a client who attended one of our classes, and it took him 2 years to actually come back and say that you are right. I just don't feel good with it. I start to go deeper. I read through. I shouldn't take this long. So my point is, if you are already inside this webinar live, we really congratulate you to take this particular action because it is only for you to gain, and we hope that this benefit you guys. So You mentioned one word,
Mm.
specifically one word,
Yeah.
and I need you to actually expand on that word, which is uncertainty.
Uncertainty, qarar.
Yes, please. Can
So,
you?
okay, let's talk about uncertainty for a while. We all know that the only one who knows the future is Allah Ta'ala. Other than that, everything else, tak tahu. We don't know. It's all uncertain. But from an Islamic contract perspective, when we want to understand, especially with investments, there will be a lot of uncertainty. For example, stock market. Can you tell me tomorrow will go up or go down? Can you tell me in 1 week, higher, lower? Next year, higher, lower? Tak tahu. Right? There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And so when it comes to our investing, just because I say there's uncertainty in the investments, then cannot invest at all because Afiq say all investments are uncertain. Then cannot. But here's the thing. When you look at an investment and they say that, okay, investments carries risk. Yes, absolutely. But how does that risk translate to your investing journey? 1 year, I cannot tell whether the market go up or go down. But if you look at past history, as long as you are invested for long enough, 5 years, 10 years, even longer, inshallah, we know that the markets have produced a positive return over a long enough time frame. That actually gives us certainty. Very interesting, kan? Short term, very uncertain. So when it comes to investing, you want to do short term, don't bother because it's very uncertain. But given long enough time, look at the Singapore economy, for example. From 1980, when the first stock market was launched in Singapore, all the way until today, our stock markets have just gone steadily up and up and up over the long term. It's been over 30 plus years, 40 years. So that has a little bit of certainty. And when we come to Islamic contract, we want to avoid uncertainty. And so for us as Muslims, one of the things that we have to avoid in investing is uncertainty. So for those people who are out there, trading, short-term trading, that buy, sell, masuk, keluar. Forex haram, by the way. Forex trading haram. By the way, the masuk, keluar kan. Can they tell us when the market is going to go down? Tak tahu. Totally uncertain. So folks, if you're doing short-term trading, I would urge everybody, if you have no idea what you're doing, don't do it.
Which leads to another point.
Mm.
I realize that you say you don't know, you are uncertain, but it gives me one point, which is then it became speculative, right? And there's another word for speculation.
Gambling.
Yeah.
Might
Okay.
stay.
So you want to add on to that? Yeah.
The vast majority of traders out there, 99% of traders out there fail to make money. 87% of traders lose money. Why? Because most of us have no idea what we're doing. And when it comes to the point whether or not the investment is compliant, Sharia compliant, if you go in with your niat, tak tahu lah, let's see, hope, pray dia naik. The niat dah tukar, tu jadi speculation.
Hope, pray.
Hope, pray, insyaAllah dia naik, Allah tolonglah naikkan dia. Right? But the moment you have that niat of going in, don't know what's happening, maybe it'll go up, it becomes speculation, it becomes gambling, it becomes maisir, terus haram. So when you want to invest, talk to a qualified professional, do your own research, really understand deeply, masak-masak dalam-dalam. Once you understand the investment instrument, what it does, what is it, what's the underlying, what are the likely outcomes in the future, then you can take the calculated risk to start investing. Inshallah, of course, using Sharia compliant instruments. Okay. So tak mau gamble.
If I may add,
Yes, please.
yeah. So actually, if let's say you go into an investment and you do not have any knowledge whatsoever, it becomes haram already. Because you have no knowledge, and like just now what Afiq said, right? You just like just hoping, just follow the crowd. It becomes haram because there is no knowledge, and then because you are taking a risk, there is profit loss sharing. So therefore, this gharar uncertainty is a very beautiful thing actually. It saves Muslim. If Muslims are to abide this, that means anything, because it's the one of the elements which is in muamalat or Islamic transaction, which actually is a no-no, which is a gharar. Anything you do not know. For example, I want to sell you something. Okay lah, I buy. But you would want to buy, you do not know what it is, right? It's like back to that zero basic lah. I mean, basic thing. You do not know, and then it's uncertain. You do not know what it is. Then you want to buy, like gamble lah.
Kan nak beli, I jual dulu. Nak beli, jual dulu.
That's why. So
Jangan tahu. Nak beli.
That's right. So what? So you could be tricked, right? So it could be something of high value, no value, yeah. And it comes.
Surprise boxes, those
You cannot, yeah.
Kan.
Those kinds
Oh,
of like mystery box.
Oh, haram saya.
Is there? Is haram, isn't it? And people still like, oh, very excited.
And there are such investments now.
Ada.
Yeah.
Ada banyak. When in banking, I saw.
The whole thing is a scheme or a company. You can invest in that company actually. Interesting, eh?
That's why. So you make use of the screeners lah. Make use of the screeners. They screen the Sharia compliant companies. Don't anyhow think you know everything because you do not know. You know, there's many aspects of it, like to protect us Muslims actually. Yeah.
Screeners are level 1. I mean, out there, from what I remember, there's 7 or 8 screeners, stock screeners out there that help you screen both stocks and ETFs, whether they're Sharia compliant. And the main screening methodology they use would be the AOFI method, the Dow Jones Islamic Market method, as well as the FTSE Sharia method of screening. And the 3 main screening criteria, like Asu mentioned in the beginning, was the industries. So you've got 12 industries that they follow, then your debt ratio, 33% or below, as well as, I think we were supposed to mention it, the amount of tainted revenue from impure sources of income. As long as it's less than 5%, less than 5%, then usually it is okay, because that also leads to our purification portion. Kan?
Yes.
You get dividends from a Sharia compliant stock, but the dividends they show 5%, for example, are impure. That part must purify.
Which you just added, might as well I just go into the question. And that one is mainly for you. Okay, so let's say for example, let's talk about investment in unit trusts, mutual funds, and company stocks. Can you enlighten the viewers on what are the conditions on the investment to be halal and Sharia compliant, especially in the sense of debt ratio?
Okay.
Yeah, you are there, right? So
that was
let's
really
talk about it. Yeah.
So let's talk about this. When we talk about asset class, you've got individual stocks, then you've got ETFs, you've got unit trusts. These are quite common, easily accessible. For stocks, when you start investing and you find a good stock screener that tells you, okay, I key in this name of this company, any company, I put in company ABC, and it will show me, okay, based on the screening methodology, industry pass, debt ratio pass, less than 33%. Impure revenue, less than 5%. Okay, so more pass. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so you invest in that, you do your research, due diligence, you go up, great. You sell. The profit you get, okay, halal. But the dividends you receive, you must purify up to 5% because 5% tainted income. That's only for stocks.
Okay.
ETFs, typically, do check the documentation. Most of the ETFs I'm aware of will state that the dividend purification has already been done at the source. That means the dividends we receive from a halal ETF boleh consume tanpa was-was. Lama tak dengar tu. Right? And of course, for unit trusts, also for those that we are aware of here in Singapore, read the documentation. The Sharia Advisory Board for all of these Sharia certified unit trusts would have already done the purification for us or at their beginning. So kita tak payah worry about dividend dia halal ke tak, haram nak purify, tak payah. And so, when we talk about the debt ratio for specific company, if it fails the 33% rule, fine. It will show on your screener, fail. So tak payah invest. But for ETFs and unit trusts, we trust in the Sharia Advisory Board that is overseeing the ETF and the unit trust to ensure that the assets they hold pass the debt ratio rule, they pass the industry rule, they pass the impure income rule. So we as consumers, tak payah worry so much lah, unless you're doing individual stock screening. So that's where the debt ratio comes in. Sebab we're not supposed to borrow too much money kan, as a person kan. We're not supposed to borrow too much money because we're exposed to loans and the loan have riba. The riba, the dust of riba will touch all of us everywhere. It's the same with companies. So if you're investing in a company, whether it's a private investor or on the stock market, do check whether their debt ratio is permissible. Just like you mentioned the strawberry farm.
Yeah.
Kan? Kadang-kadang we have opportunities to invest as a private placement. You go in or by invitation only. Do ask for their financial statements as well.
Thank you, Afiq. You would like to add anything on what Afiq has just added?
I think he covered quite good already. Yeah, with regards to the
Fantastic. Okay, but I realize what he said is about making sure that we know. Also added on to your point, make sure you must know. You must be aware. You do not need to go into all the details lah. They say, well, some people really can go super kiasu. Like, I want to invest in America, which is they say it's a Muslim company, and fly all the way there, and make sure that you can touch the company building, talk to the no. We have this other level whereby you trust the experts.
Yes.
And for example, one of our directors, Sani Hamid,
Yes.
we recently got on board this Montreal. So Montreal Healthcare, he take the trouble to actually fly over to the States, make sure that the Montreal Healthcare is really, really there. and what they taking the money for, what's the debt ratio, what's the this and that, everything, all whatever the finances are correctly done, properly, send into our Sharia advisor, go through the board, screen fully, and it is 100% Sharia compliant, and he fly back. So now you will base on the trust of Sani Hamid.
Yes.
Right?
He
So
did
that's
the
the
work.
example, because he did all the work. And all the investments that when we help to check on our clients or participants or whoever that come over with us, when you say I invest in here, we will check who is the person that you trust on.
Yes, because we are the experts and we do the due diligence on behalf of our clients.
Yes.
That's what we're paid for.
And then on that note, you have all the peace in mind. You don't have to worry. But when you do not have peace in mind, or you are too excited on something that give an fantastic returns, which leads to sometimes when people lose money, which leads to the question I'm going about to ask you. That means they are in the point of deceit, the point of what they call, just paint you the good picture. You know, so you would like to add on to that on investment related
With
on
regards
the
to
deceit. That
on
means
the deceit.
yes.
Okay, what you were saying, I mean, like I was like also thinking a bit about it lah. So for those who are joining us and you're quite like layman or new to investments, so really like like for example when you want to eat, right? You as a Muslim here in Singapore, when you see that there's the shop that is the Muiz halal logo, very at ease. Okay, then you will just okay, that's selamat already, and then don't have you pork and no pork no lard. If really the whole, like it's really very troublesome for you. For example, it's a coffee shop. No pork, no lard, right? Selling the
Yes.
coffee and the tea, you will always buy lah. But when it comes to food, we also want to jaga. But when every time there's what you call it, a halal store, we will go to the halal store with the halal certification, easy, peace of
Yes.
mind. So again, along those lines lah. I mean, there's the Sharia Advisory Committee already endorse it to be Sharia compliant versus another one that doesn't have, and you need to do all the very difficult homework. So you don't want to do that lah. So you want to skip that because you do not have the time. So leave it to those who can do it lah, the experts lah.
I agree. Because
Yeah.
you see, the thing is talking about halal cert. Kadang-kadang kita pergi makan, go and see halal cert. Halal cert from Muiz plus chop, boom, settle. Tapi ada yang they print from
The
the
expire,
internet.
correct. Ada yang dah expire. So
They
you
taruh
really
sticker.
correct. So it's our due
Macam-macam,
diligence.
yeah.
Our due diligence. Sometimes inside the expo, right? So there was a complaint recently. They went to this
Oh
expo.
yeah.
All supposed to be halal lah. Halal sekali. Got sell pork in the middle
The Taiwan
of
sausage kan.
yeah, all halal stalls, one or two, then right smack in the middle where no Muslims would even think that there's going to be a pork there. It's really pork selling there, pork being sold there. So it's really our due diligence. Don't, like I say, like you see the halal cert, very happy. Also like see
Check the
look
cert,
lah.
check the cert.
Look at the date, that kind, and then you can Google and find out whether it's really certified, that kind. So then you can dine at ease, and this is what we're supposed to do as Muslims lah.
And it's exactly the same with your investments.
Correct.
Question who is the certifying body. Is it really from, for example, Amani Advisory? Amani Advisory Board, one of the leading Sharia advisory firms in the world. Is it really certified by them? Or is it a personal opinion of the person trying to sell you? Oh, this one, I pernah dengar banyak. My opinion, benda ni halal. Why? Oh, because it's got no pork. Yeah, but yang lain screening dia pass. Oh, I think it can.
Pork, then
Lu siapa?
got alcohol. What about the other
You know what I
ingredients?
mean?
What about
The debt ratio, the impure income. So there will be people out there who will tell you, oh, benda ni halal. Then you ask who's the certifying body. Because in a world where you hear Sharia compliant, halal certified, you also hear no pork, no lard. You also hear Muslim friendly. Friendly ke babai?
Yeah.
I would say that's unfriendly, kan?
You have
Because
to
you don't
really
know who's the
scrutinize.
certifying
You must
body.
understand. You must understand. That's why we're having this webinar. Okay, so now I want to answer your question about deceit, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so actually deceit is one of the fourth element lah. There's
Yes.
actually riba, and then there's actually what you call it?
Karat.
Gharar, which is uncertainty, and then there's also gambling, maisir, that we have to also cannot, is a no, and the last one maybe we can say is deceit lah. So deceit is penipuan or deceit. There is there's an intention of one party to actually cheat the other party.
Yeah, something
Uh,
that is halal and you say
and
is something is not halal and you say it's
yeah.
halal. It is a
So
deceit.
so what's happening now? Okay, what's happening that we know at our level also. That's why we're also running like scam workshops and all that, right?
Yes.
So what's
Workshop
happening?
educating people on scam, not workshop is the scam.
Yeah,
Jangan
yeah.
kan. Kita buat scam.
All right,
We
yeah.
don't do
So
workshop on scam.
yeah, we
No,
educate
workshop
us.
on scam, not a scam workshop.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're educating people to not fall into scams. Let me repeat. Let me
Okay.
correct myself. Yeah. So the thing is, so there's this scammer. Okay, so the intention is to cheat people, and they will always mask it lah, like an investment. So oh, come invest in this thing, then you will get returns as a guaranteed returns. And you know the modus operandi lah, how it's being done. First time round, yes, they will give you the. Then the second time round, yes, you will get it. The third round also yes. Then you start to trust already, right? Then you call your friends, you call your sister, your brother, your makcik, your pakcik, everything. Datuk nenek, all you call. And then, Joy, it's really legit, wah, I put in this much, I get that much. It's really, tunai janji, got office, everything. So you all join in. Yeah, and then you know what happened next lah. Okay, so it's really like the thing is that's quite characteristic of the Malay community, unfortunately.
Sadly.
And it's like the whole family, if it's like family after the whole saga, you know what happened lah. I do not need to elaborate, right? So when everybody already put in the money, that's it, gone. So there's a deceit there. Mask is a scam lah actually, but mask as an investment. So it is not, because they got guarantee you to return you how much, and then you see that because not so too good to be true. How can how can the investment within such a short period of time give you so much returns? So that is a no already. We must not be greedy, yeah. So we must tell ourselves nothing is too good to be true lah, huh? So that's one thing I want to also maybe not this generation, but maybe our parents, or the
Still have.
still have our generation,
Still
so
have.
yeah, you should be smarter than that lah. It's really just a scam lah.
Now
Mask
it's
as
more
an
like the
investment.
scam. I would say, sorry to touch some of our listeners' nerves. Have to. I rather. I mean, that's what I'm known for lah. I say no need paint rainbow, blue sky, kan? Just straight to the point. Keep cryptos. Everybody looking into crypto. Something about let's go invest in crypto because of the investment returns is beyond many other investments, and the best part is Sharia compliant. Until to this date, there's only one scholar, and I mention the name right now, and he's the only one. I really touched my heart. I believe he is the only one. Sorry, because I met him in person and I met others, and the rest also vouch for him, and that's the only one. You want, you can get to him also, no problem. He's happy for this. But he's helping, intention is good, and he does a lot of background work, and that's Dr. Zarudin Banyantri Coins. That's all to this date. Nothing else. So sorry. If there are, we would love to know. We would really love to know. Why? Because if there are, then maybe it's for us to learn as well. Probably it's not a scam. Probably it is really good. But 23 years, I've yet to meet. Even our Dr. Zarudin also not really giving that kind of returns. It's really manageable, expected to a certain extent. It's what is there, it's not fantastic all the time, and it is really in use. So, but on that sense, when we talk about crypto, and we talk about forex, and we talk about scams, right? And we talk about what happened to mostly our Muslim communities. Actually, not Muslim lah, mainly Malay.
Yeah,
Melayu,
that's
macam
why.
kita ni kan.
Then the money gone, relationship also turns sour.
And then angry.
Yeah.
Before that, so they will tell you to invest, come join me and invest. And then after that, this one, because it is halal, is sharia, is very good, give you very good return. And then if you join me, money loss, both angry. If you don't join me, I angry you, you go away far, don't talk to me, right? And then so after that, that's the thing about our culture. But you see, that's why we actually take time today to share what is Sharia compliant, what is the investment, the halal way, the Muslim way, to be really careful, to be wary, to make sure that you have an expert To make sure that you have experts to help you, to advise you to go through whatever investment that you may already have, whether it's stocks, ETF, unit trust, bonds. So, or even you may have heard from the advertisements, from the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all this. Please, whoever we talk to, we let them even do their own due diligence, their own checks. But before even go through that, we did our part, we get ourselves very updated, and then we do all the necessary. We even share how, whether is it compliant, whether is it relevant, whether is it suitable, and in the sense of what they call investment itself, sometimes it is, so that just to quick your opinion, if someone is of a risk profile, conservative or moderately conservative. For example, if you want to know more about risk profile, you can always check with us. It's something like we give you a questionnaire, you answer to check on your own risk profile. Meaning that if a risk profile of someone, let's say he invests 50,000, he lost 25,000, masih boleh relax isap rokok minum kopi.
Tak isap rokok
Tak ada apa-apa. Relax. Nah, I mean just example lah, drama, sikit drama. But someone else say, let's say Ustazah put in 50,000, lost 5,000, dah nak terjun diri. Tak ada, Ustazah tak terjun diri. So that's example. Okay, on that sense, if someone, we go in two aspects. I just need our last opinion. We already talked, I think we go through the whole round here because we are going to move into part 2, which is question and answer. Please send in your questions. I'm sure there are. We are limited to a certain time. We are at Masjid Tentera. Thank you to the management of Masjid
There's a few
Tentera.
questions already. There's a
Yeah.
few questions.
So on this last note, I mean, this is added on. If let's say, but need to see two aspects of it. You can add on anytime before we move into the questions here. If I am the conservative or moderately conservative, and you say this is an investment, but actually the investment is aggressive, even if it is Sharia compliant, what say you?
Then you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because you know, if it's Sharia compliant, but it's really volatile. Okay, it's really making you have sleepless nights. You can get sick, heart attack. So we do not want that. Yeah. So you have to actually make an investment, and then make sure that it's what do you call it? Meet with your risk portfolio. So if you are someone who cannot take risk or cannot take high risk, when you invest, you're already taking risk. Like what I'm trying to say is, you cannot take higher risk. You just can take, like, you're conservative, a minimal amount of risk only. Okay, maybe someone with a portfolio like you are already a retiree, you cannot no longer earning income.
Because of
Okay,
time,
so
right?
you are just investing your savings, so you cannot afford to actually be investing in something which is volatile because of the time you do not have. Compared to, let's say, even if you think that you are a conservative or a moderate, however, actually when we ask you, how long do you intend to keep or invest? Maybe 10, 15 years, then we will educate you. Actually, maybe if you can be more, you know, you can take higher risk. Maybe you can get more equities for that matter. So that's where we come in to advise, to give the recommendations to you. After we know what's your objective, the objective of your investment. So it's not, I mean, the more you share with us, the better we are able to help you.
Yeah.
But if you very malu-malu, don't want to say, just want to invest in this, maybe, you know, that's not the best that we can actually recommend to you lah. So it helps if actually you let us know, yeah, your investment objective. What is it for retirement, for short term, for whatever. And then besides the time, we also want to know lah, I mean, basically other things that you may want to share with us, so to help us recommend you the best thing.
Thank you, Sada. You want to add on that?
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, so ultimately, right, the question to answer before you start any kind of investing is why. Start with why. Simon Sinek said it, start with why. Why are we investing? For what? You know, sometimes we look at investing now, retire, investing to put our kids through school, like what Ustazah mentioned. Think about your time. Think about your time. How much time do you have to invest? Kalau I need my money tomorrow, takkan nak invest. Sakit. So think about why you're investing, and that leads to your objective. Because the average person doesn't understand what a risk profile is. Everybody wants to make money, yes, but nobody wants to lose money. We all understand that. We are wired that way. Semalam, I just teach this in my class, where we talk about understanding your risk profile. Before that even happens, you need to understand where you're going and for how long, your destination and your date. If you have a longer time horizon, then you can take on more risk. Or conversely, if you have a shorter time horizon, you take on less risk. But the terbalik also kelakar is also true. I got people who say, I want to invest 20 years. Can, very long. But I very low risk. I only buy low risk, low return bonds, for example. Then after 20 years, they realize all their money gone from inflation. Right? So here's the thing, understand your why. So once your time horizon is clear, then your risk profile become even clearer, then you know what instruments to invest in. Then you buy the right thing. But kalau you tak faham, you tak tahu apa-apa, berbual lah dengan kita. Talk to one of us. We have a method and a process to help you through understand your objectives, understand what kind of tolerance you have, what kind of instruments are suitable for you. So talk to a qualified expert. That will shortcut your entire journey rather than you tikam-tikam, try, hope, pray, insyaAllah tu dah maiseh gambling haram.
Yeah, so I want to, we are coming into the question and answer, but we need to scrutinize the question. But before we go to that, I would like to add one thing is that there are, sorry to say it, maybe there are advisors inside the audiences, but I need to add on because we have met people who invest into, yes, correct, it is Sharia compliant investment, but the Sharia compliant investment is of high risk, and this person also happen to have sukuk, which is a lower risk, much lower, very low return. That sukuk lose a little bit of money, he already sweating in aircon. And on that note, when I said, why don't you take a look at the equity you bought from another advisor who confirmed is Sharia compliant, but that is higher risk. Look at the movement of the investment. And the fellow said, oh my God, what is going on? And you see? So it's not suitable. It's not that. I mean, I'm not trying to correct any of the advisors out there. I'm saying that I'm willing to see you guys to help share with you how to. Please lah. In the end, you as advisors as well would like to sleep in peace. Okay. You don't want to share the wrong thing. So now, thank you very much, the two of you. We're going to go into part 2. But before we go into part 2, our dear friend from the back there is going to share a screen sharing on a video on one of our FAQ quick one. Now the reason why we are going to do that is because I'm going to take a look into the questions and answers, the question that we want to share in the last 10 minutes of this webinar, but we will not do all the questions. Reason is because some of the questions probably we already answered, we may not repeat. Anyway, we're going to record this and upload it and make it into a podcast for you guys to even search into the YouTube. Some of the questions might be very personal. It might not be relevant or suitable for the general audience. And some of the questions may not even be of this investment topic. We have the next topic, which is coming on the next week, is coming on the next month, end of the next month, is insurance, permissible insurance. Following month, we're going to talk about inheritance or distribution, wealth distribution, one of the pillar. And one more month, we're going to talk about wealth maintenance, cash flow. Very exciting topic on that part. So right now, you ready to stream the video already? Thanks. So you stream the video, watch the video for a while, keep throwing in the questions. If we cannot answer you right now inside the webinar, we will reach out to you to answer you personally as we can. Okay, so enjoy the video for a while. Okay, come. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Zaid Masagos. I'm the head of Aman Amanah Advisory Group. Today, I am very grateful and happy to be able to be with my team, which will be sharing on our topic for today's podcast, which is on 5 pillars of Islamic wealth. What are the 5 pillars of Islamic wealth? Okay, the first one is wealth management, cash flow practices as a practicing Muslim. Second one is wealth protection, where we talk about permissible insurance. The third one is wealth accumulation and investment, mainly on savings and Sharia compliant investments. And the fourth pillar, which is wealth purification, dismissal of impure wealth, and also zakat. Last but not least, we talk about wealth distribution, where we talk about wasiat, wakaf, sadaqah, Nusria, all that. So, with my team, I'll be asking them questions that we have accumulated over 10 years. Yes, you heard it right. Aman Amanah Advisory Group is celebrating this year in the year of 2023, 10th year in the financial industry on Islamic wealth specifically, whereby our team here I will ask them questions that we have accumulated over the 10 years, and they will answer specifically on each pillar. We got many questions. I will ask my fellow friends here, fellow teammates, on chosen questions on each pillar to share for this particular episode of podcast. Okay, I would like to welcome Encik Shafi. Assalamualaikum, Abang Shafi.
Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Zaid.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Okay, so by right,
Yes.
Abang Shafi ni dah retire. By right. But he still feels that the community, our Muslim community, very much needed our services, and he's still
InsyaAllah.
hanging on and doing his best to help.
Inshallah.
So,
the best that I can.
Abang Shafi,
Yes, Mr.
you
Zaid.
have a question that we have collated, and I believe you have met a number of our clients for this same question.
Okay.
Every time. And
Right.
this has a lot to do with one of the pillars, which is wealth distribution,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So this is on for CPF.
Okay.
We can nominate anybody,
Sure.
okay? But for insurance, can we also do nominate anybody? Let's make it related to Sharia compliance, which is
Okay.
our Islamic wealth practices.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Zaid, for that question. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would say that for CPF, you can nominate basically anybody. And for insurance, because it's a nomination, right? But the fact that it is a nomination, it says you can nominate to anyone. Nobody in particular, as long as you think that whoever deserves that portion of your fund that you want to inherit to, you can nominate. Yes, you can do so. Just like CPF, where you can also do your nomination to anybody, not in any particular order, or anybody you think who's deserving to receive your fund. I suppose it goes the same thing for insurance. You can also nominate to anyone that you think deserves.
Welcome back, welcome back. So we are now in part 2, and this is the most exciting part actually, although it's the shortest time of the whole webinar. But this is where specially only for live audience. We don't get this recorded, or we won't share it up in YouTube, because this is especially for those who actually stayed on, ask questions, and we're going to ask them, answer them. So whoever stays on live, thank you very much. If you need to know more, in the meantime, maybe you can send into the Zoom chat. The Zoom chat is over there, is it? The Zoom chat. Quick one. What Ustazah just did is she was going to move there and then send to you a link whereby you can actually ask to click on and then request to meet up one-to-one to ask more questions. Then we're going to we're going to communicate with you, contact you, and then probably meet up with you, or even through Zoom to answer you more questions starting from here. Only special for those who are live here. That's all. That's the special part. So the following month, where we're going to talk about insurance, please share with your friends. If you saw our post from the Facebook, you can share that. You say if you go live, you're going to get real life questions and answers, real life values. Otherwise, you get from the YouTube. This part is not included. Okay. So thank you very much for staying on. So there inside the Zoom chat, you're going to get the link to request to meet up one-to-one. So I'm going to start with the first question very quickly. I think it's going to not be a long answer. Why is the debt ratio important in determining if an investment is Sharia compliant or otherwise, if all the other factors are already Sharia compliant? Is it about sharing of the risk or such to all the parties involved?
Okay, so 2 reasons. Number 1, very easy. In Islam, we're not supposed to have too much debt. Avoid the debt. Second reason, simple. Company got a lot of cash. For example, some of the biggest companies out there have a lot of cash. When crisis and recession happen, what happened to the company? They're okay, right? Just like a person. Just like you think of a person. If you have a lot of debts out there, then suddenly there's a recession come in, you lost your job, how are you going to pay back your debts? Your assets are all then seized and yourself, the company lipat. But if a company has lots of cash and very little debt, they can withstand all kinds of storms, which from a halal investing perspective and a traditional investing perspective makes sense. Because then your company is more likely to be very strong and profitable in the future, inshallah.
Thank you, Afiq. Do you like to add on with
Yeah,
that?
maybe I add a bit. Maybe ROFE standard or Securities Commission standard, why they have that 30%, that ratio, that 30%. Again, along those lines what you are saying lah. So to ensure that the companies are stable, these are stable companies. So Islam always protect, protect whatever that you are doing also. So at least if max you want to have debts or loans, not more than that amount. Okay, to ensure that it's actually a stable company. Because again, if something happen, you are more susceptible because you got lots of loans and debts. But if it's just a small percentage of that, the ratio is small, you will sustain. Okay, so for our maslahah actually, the debt ratio, yeah, that's the.
Thank you
that's the
very
answer.
much. Okay, so the next question is Muslim-friendly investment may not be halal compliant, right? So why are some companies promoting this investment plan? They said they also consulted ustad, ustazah, and all that.
Yes, that's why they use the term Muslim friendly. It's very subjective, okay? If it's Sharia compliant, it's like, for example, it has that Sharia advisory committee there sitting there doing their job, okay, of screening and making sure. And by the way, they can, if let's say they do not do their job, they can be, they can be fined, can be sued, can go to prison, It's a very serious matter. But if there isn't any certification that it is Sharia compliant, then what they can see is, oh, the sectors are quite okay. Right. Then it's Muslim friendly lah. Because the sectors are quite okay. So now attending this webinar, you understand that there's more to it, right? The elements, you must make sure there's no 4 elements that we talked about. And then the sectors, the 12 sectors also must be clear. Okay, what are those no sectors? So maybe if it doesn't have that Sharia certification, then one tends to just put it as friendly to the Muslim. But it is not halal lah. It is not Sharia compliant. Okay, so like no pot no lard lah.
But not really friendly lah. It's actually unfriendly kan?
Correct, yeah.
It's hidden.
Yeah, because there's other elements that's also important that you need to have fulfilled, and it is not fulfilled. But in a sense, when you say the sectors, perhaps it pass. How about other aspects that we should be studying and looking into? Tak pass. That's why it's just friendly je.
Okay, so quickly, thank you very much. A very good point. Very quickly, with regards to anyone who said that, yeah, there's this, they consulted ustad, ustazah about the particular investment, whether is it really certified or is it scrutinized deeply by Sharia board, by what they call AAOIFI, Amani, all these boards. And I'm not even from there, but I'm quite in touch with some of them. I did attend, however, just to let you know, I did attend a Sharia advisory workshop. It is an entry to the actual Sharia advisory about 2 to 3 years. But it's a 2 days at which I attended. And these 2 days, they're supposed to cover 108 slides. And in the first day, we went through only 8 slides. Do you know how stressed we are? And we have to go through 100 more slides the next day.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to knowledge.
Yeah.
It's really knowledge. Maybe it's endorsed or said yes or supported by certain asatiza, but you have to also have that knowledge and own that. You have to own it, because it is your investment. Yeah, you're gonna be asked in the akhirah. You say, oh, but this ustazah or this ustad say, are you sure God? You say, oh, you can go to the ustazah and ustad because those asatiza recommended. No, Allah is gonna ask you. So you must actually really know what you are getting yourself into. Okay, your wealth and all that. Okay, and if there's tainted money, tainted wealth, go purify it. You do not know. I think we can we can guide you, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Because we are really in the circle of experts, Sharia scholars among us who's really working very closely with us. And I'm not saying, I mean, I have to say this. Please mention my name, Zaid Masagos. ZAID MASAGOS to the ustad or ustazah that is consulted to. If they don't know my name, question mark. That's the first one. Okay, very big point. Why? Because I'm not saying that I'm an expert a lot. I know so much. No. But whoever knows me enough, They know that I am involved with a lot of the people inside this industry, very well knitted, very well in close contact. I have all the numbers inside, and we are always in contact, and we are always checking with each other to help our Muslim brothers. We do not want to deceive you. We do not. We want to help you. We want to see, and I don't last this long to actually be a deceiver, right? Cik Ba. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that if there are Ustazah you did consulted and they heard about me or something like that, they know I'm not that active right now to talk to direct clients or participants. But my team here, like, look at them. Okay, they are doing their best to carry on to spread out more, to outreach more. So we are here to really help, and I'm really open into sharing my name there. So if there is a need to really help, if you did hear about anybody asking Ustaz or Ustazah, I am willing to look to see the Ustaz and Ustazah also. Even I am willing. May not be there, but I am.
Nak join, nak ikut.
Okay, never mind. He knows what happened every time. Seriously, So we really get to, sometimes you really got to put a stop. Some Ustaz, Ustazah anyhow, maaf.
And that's the thing, I want to add on to this point. Because when people mention Ustaz, Ustazah, etc., they can say, but I always say, do your own verification. I will ask, who are these people from? Are they serving on any Sharia advisory boards? Are they legit scholars? Or, maaf kata lah, nowadays, you graduate from Islam with an Islamic degree, Islamic diploma, you can call yourself whatever you want. Islamic scholar, aku scholar, but baru graduate semalam. You know what I mean? And they can give opinions. And talking about opinions and fatwas, here we are in Singapore. So we have to follow the scholar view in Singapore and the fatwas from Singapore. We have people who come to us, oh, kita pakai fatwa Egypt. The fatwa from Egypt kata bank riba. Nigeria pun ada. The riba from bank can consume. There was one. Somebody sent me. This one, the guy said, the fatwa from Egypt say, riba from bank, you can permissible consume. So please do your own
Please
verification.
fly to Egypt to live with that fatwa.
Go to Egypt and then consume the riba there. Not here.
Okay, then there is one very important question, but I think we cannot go any more further. Our time's a bit overshot now, but it's very exciting when we talk about the questions. But this one very important to say. Salam, I'm just about to start in Sharia compliant investment. Where can I start from? Like, where do I find, or is there any investment to offer? Very easy, 84829563. Just mention to us. You already send it there anyway. Or you can just click to the link in the Zoom chat and choose whether you want to choose any of the advisors to reach out to you. Then we will share with you how to start about it. And that, is it better under the bank, Maybank, or others like Etika, Sharia compliant investment? Okay, by the way, like I said, we already mentioned. This one I need to answer. This one because I just had a meeting with them. Not once, not twice, many times. They have from the, what do you call, the lower risk, and then they have the moderately risk managed account. The higher risk one, they have other companies doing. Now, if you are of a higher risk, you get this kind of investment, you might be disappointed.
Yeah, they don't have the full range, full suite. They do not have lah.
Okay, so but however, however, if you are of a lower risk, this is suitable. But how do you know whether your risk tolerance is okay, suitable for this? Again, we need to check on your timeline. We need to check on your how long do you want to invest. In fact, connect with us. Now, the reason why I say connect with us is because there's something coming up in October. Okay, that's all we can say. Nothing else. It's not official yet. We are working very closely with them. So that's why people work very closely with us. Inshallah, we can help on that. I think we can go for the last. You want to add on while I look for the last question? Anything else you want to add on?
We're running out of time, right?
We are actually out.
Ultimately, right, to add on, the question was, should I go with a bank or should I go with an insurance agent? Look for somebody called an independent financial advisor. Because we are all independent financial advisors. We are qualified. We have multiple providers who are partners. So when you go to a bank, they will be forced to push only their products, right? But if you go to an IFA, independent financial advisory firm, for example, like FIWA, Financial Alliance Islamic Wealth Advisory, we have a whole suite of services and business partners to work with. In fact, we represent our clients, we don't represent the service providers.
Yes.
And that's the best kind of relationship to have. Because imagine you have somebody like me, pimpin tangan, Kalau tak halal, don't pepek tangan. Pepek tangan, walk with you, pergi shopping sama-sama, cari nak makan apa, like that. Versus, nah, cocok kau makan.
Yes.
So yes, look for an IFA.
Okay, last question before we end the whole webinar. We are very, very grateful for all of you staying on. I know this is the most exciting part. The ending part is always the most exciting part. We are running on our own, by the way. Last time we have with another company, cannot. Time up means time's up. I need to address this. I just saw the question. Somebody took for Hajj savings. Okay, and I just saw the investments that you have very quickly. Please click on to connect with us. Either you choose the advisor, maybe Ustazah ke Afiq ke, myself ke. No, not me. I won't be seeing you guys. If I'm looking, if you are coming to connect with me, Zaid Masagus, is to join our team. Okay. Don't worry about being trained or what. She was not. Ustazah Surina is not in this industry, was not in this industry. 4 to 5 years ago, she came to us. She just worked part-time, helped us with administrative. Then she joined us, and then she's now even more knowledgeable than me. You see? So what I'm trying to say here is that you mentioned that you have some investments. I'm not going to mention the company. I may not even mention your name because it's in the Zoom, because your name is there as well. So I'm trying to be as mindful as I can. Just connect with us strongly, because from your investment funds, just from this that you sent us, 60%, 60, is not Sharia. And it's mentioned here that you can go for, it's meant for Hajj savings. Ustazah, very quick one, to do investment, to go for something like Hajj, but it's not Sharia compliant. What say you?
I think there's a very popular hadith lah. It's hadith mutawatir lah. So Allah is pure and Allah only accept the pure. So if the funds that you actually prepare to go to Hajj, it comes from the source of investment profits which are non-Sharia compliant, impure already. Yeah, very, very sad lah in that case. So you have to rectify it.
Yeah, thank you for sending us this picture. This picture of
Yeah.
the investments that you sent. How about, I can't answer that one. Politically inappropriate. Okay, it's about CPF. We just had a discussion about someone with about CPF as well. You can search for me inside Millicent. That one you can. Inside the Millicent, I have in Millicent there is I did a podcast over 4 hours long. Of course, different segments with another Ustaz Kamal Mukhtar. He has his point of view. I have my point of view, but it's very nicely edited to make it. Then I leave it to you to decide. Okay. But those who understand where I come from, or where we learn from, where we understand, they understand where we come from lah. But yeah, so I sorry, I can't say further.
Let's go time.
Okay. So thank you very much for enjoying. I hope you enjoyed your session for the past 1 hour plus.
Thank you so much for
yes.
spending the afternoon with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So inshallah, see you soon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Dah? Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much for doing
Yes.
this.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Well done. Well done.
Alhamdulillah.
Aku tengok question, kau tengok dia punya funds.
Orang ada orang tanya pasal Aberdeen.
Ya, itu dia.
Allah, Aberdeen, aku cakap Aberdeen.
Kau kenal abang apa ni Saludin? Aberdeen.
Kalau tak ada lama Aberdeen orang mesti.
Yeah, I saw the CPF one. You message me.
Si baik.
Apa
Aku
ni?
baca dia punya funds. Aku baca, aku geram.
Mampus.
I thought you gonna intro that we are at Masjid
Yeah,
Tentera.
intro.
We did it.
Adik
Tak, tak
Tak intro
ada.
lah.
Tak intro
Kau
lah.
cakap
That's why.
No,
Tak alamak.
halfway I said I did mention that we are
That's why
at Masjid Tentera.
apa sebab cakap.
No, I did
Tak
say.
ada, dia punya ustaz yang deal dengan kita, dia baru berhenti. So ustaz baru take over. So a bit a miscom there.
So when they podcast, we should put their logo on the side. Tak ada ni. Logo company mana?
Ada.
Tak kasi dia.
Saya tak cakap Dia tak minta.
Then we can put like
Kalau you tak
the-
cakap, I kena cakap. That's why I was like, alamak, aku nak kena cakap. Dia kata kat
No,
Masjid
I did
Tentera.
mention.
Tak, you did not. I was waiting.
No, I
was-
start straight away
I was
correct, but I
waiting
did
for
mention
you.
after that.
That's why I tergabra.
Ah.
My train of thoughts a bit terganggu sikit.
It's okay, it's okay. But I did mention after that. I know I forgotten mention from the beginning, but I did mention that we
Ah.
are at Masjid Tentera.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because they pakai venue diorang kan, kena thank them.
Of course, of course, of course.
Boleh kan, tapi kalau tengah edit kita boleh letak, boleh kan? Boleh. Nak edit.
That's why I mention dapat.
Edit kita dah cakap lah awal-awal, tak apa. Ustaz Ubay tu pun dia register, tapi I tengok dia macam tak tahu ada tak ada.
Ini macam satu apa
Toyota
participant made in 1984 kan versus Ferrari semalam baru keluar.
Panas weh. Tak nak kan? Ni. Ayolah mestilah.
Ke pasal dalam kocik aku.
Memang panas.
Okay, aku nak aku. Dah standby dah.
Tadi kita nampak
Ai,
dia
panas.
lompat sana tangkap kamera.
Tak, pasal lampu. Lampu. And there's sound.
Gelap.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, how's it? You all feel comfortable?
Very good.